candle flame bent sideways. Wind pressed against the glass doors of Areno's, cold and insistent. The restaurant stretched empty, tables bare except for one. Table 17, a single flicker of light, silence thick enough to choke on. Darius Calderon stepped through the door. Tattoos crawled up his throat like vines of war. Crimson shirt beneath a black suit. Rings on 3 fingers. The kind of man rooms bowed to without asking why. He scanned the space. Too empty. Too quiet. His instinct screamed. Then he saw the boy. Small. 7, maybe 8. Dark hair. Wide eyes. A white t-shirt too thin for November cold. Tiny hands wrapped around a cup of warm water. Legs dangling from the booth seat. Swinging slow. The boy looked up. Straight at him. No fear. No hesitation. "My mommy's ill," the boy said. His voice steady. "Calm. She can't make it." Darius froze. Not a woman. Not a date. A child. His jaw tightened. This was wrong. All of it. He glanced around, searching for cameras, for traps, for rivals hiding in shadows. Nothing. Just the boy. Just the flame. Just the wind outside. The boy slid a folded note across the table. "Sir," he whispered, "she told me to give you this. Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is." Darius sat, slowly, like lowering himself into water he couldn't see the bottom of. He picked up the note, unfolded it. The handwriting rushed, shaky, smudged at the edges. "I'm sorry. I know this is wrong. I'm sick, really sick. I didn't want to cancel. I didn't want to disappoint you. My son, he's all I have tonight. Please don't be angry. Ed." The paper trembled in his hands. Not from weakness, from something deeper. Someone sent their child alone. Someone sick. Someone desperate. Someone who didn't know who he was. Who he really was. He looked at the boy. "What's your name?" "Aaron." The name hung in the air. Unfamiliar. Unique. Like the child himself. Aaron blinked up at him. "Mommy told me you're a good man. She said you're gentle." Darius nearly choked. Gentle. No one had said that word to him in 20 years. Not since the streets claimed him. Not since blood became currency. Not since his name turned into a warning whispered in back alleys and boardrooms. But this boy said it like gospel. Like truth. And something inside Darius cracked. Not broke. Cracked. A fissure in stone that had been solid for decades. The restaurant owner appeared from the kitchen. Eyes wide. Darius caught his gaze. The man sprinted over, nearly tripping on his own feet. Darius leaned in close. Voice low, deadly calm. "Check every exit. Make sure no one followed this kid. No one touches him." The owner nodded, so fast his head blurred. He vanished. Aaron watched, confused. "Did I do something wrong?" "No." Darius's voice softened. "Barely. You did everything right." But his mind raced. Why was the restaurant empty? Why this place, one he almost never visited? Why did a sick woman still send her son here? Unless she was terrified. Unless she had no choice. Unless someone was watching. The candle flame bent again. A door had opened somewhere. Darius's hand moved to his waist, fingers brushing cold metal beneath his jacket. What would you do if a child appeared instead of your blind date? Aaron's voice cut through the tension. Small, careful, brave. Mommy said this dinner was important. That someone good was waiting. Someone who could change everything. Darius stared at the boy. Change everything. The words echoed, twisted, became something else in his mind. A setup, a trap, a game he didn't understand yet. He glanced at the wine glass on the table. Empty, polished, reflecting the dim light. And in that reflection, through the glass doors behind him, he saw it. A shadow, outside, watching. Aaron. Darius kept his voice calm, steady, like talking to a spooked animal. "Your mom, when did she get sick?" The boy's fingers tightened around the cup. "She fainted at work today. They sent her home. And then, she told me not to worry." Aaron's eyes dropped, but she threw up, and she's shaking really bad. Darius leaned back, studied the boy. No lies in those eyes, just fear wearing a brave mask. "You came here alone?" Aaron nodded. "Ow, bus." Then walked, 8 blocks, maybe 10, at night. A child, alone, in this part of the city. Darius's chest tightened. The staff moved differently now. Waiters avoided table 17. The bartender wiped the same glass 3 times, eyes darting toward the door. The owner stood near the kitchen, phone pressed to his ear, voice too low to hear. Something was wrong. Darius had built an empire by reading rooms, by sensing danger before it arrived. And this room screamed, "Aaron, did your mom tell you why this dinner mattered?" The boy hesitated, swallowed hard. "She said you're different, that you're not like the other men." "What other men?" Aaron's lips pressed together. A wall went up, fast, defensive. Darius recognized it. He'd built the same walls when he was young, when answering questions meant someone got hurt. He changed tactics. "What does your mom do?" "For work. She cleans offices. At night mostly, but sometimes during the day." "And she takes care of you?" "Yeah." Aaron's voice cracked, just slightly. "It's just us. No father, no family mentioned. Just a mother and a boy against the world." Darius knew that story. He'd lived a version of it. The owner appeared again, leaned close to Darius, whispered, "We cleared the place an hour ago. Private reservation under your name. But someone came by earlier, asking questions." Darius's blood went cold. "What kind of questions?" "About the boy. What time he'd arrive. If he'd be alone." The floor tilted. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a sick woman sending her son to apologize. This was planned, calculated. Someone knew Aaron would be here. Someone wanted him here. Alone. Vulnerable. Darius looked at Aaron. Really looked. The boy sat calm, but his hands shook. Tiny tremors he tried to hide. His eyes flicked toward the door every few seconds. Like he expected someone. Like he was waiting for something bad. "Aaron," Darius said gently. "Does anyone else know you're here?" The boy shook his head. "Too fast. A lie." "It's okay," Darius whispered. "I'm not mad. But I need to know. Did your mom tell anyone about tonight?" Aaron's eyes watered. He fought it. Blink hard. She tried to call it off, but the man said no. Darius went still. What man? Footsteps outside. Heavy, deliberate, moving toward the glass doors. The owner stepped back, hand reaching for something behind the bar. Darius's fingers brushed his jacket again. Muscle memory. Survival instinct. Aaron's voice barely a whisper. "Mommy told me not to talk about him." The footsteps stopped. Right outside the door, a shadow fell across the candlelight. The door didn't open. The shadow stood there, waiting, breathing visible in the cold air outside. Watching. Then it moved. Disappeared. Footsteps fading. The owner exhaled. Darius didn't. "Lock it," Darius said. The owner sprinted to the door, flipped the deadbolt. Metal clicked. Final. Secure. Darius turned back to Aaron. The boy's face had gone pale. White. Like he'd seen a ghost. "You know who that was?" Not a question. A statement. Aaron nodded. "Small. Broken. Is he the man who keeps coming to your apartment?" Another nod. Darius leaned forward. Elbows on the table. Close enough to make Aaron feel safe. Far enough to not seem threatening. "I need you to trust me. Can you do that?" Aaron studied him. Those wide eyes scanning. Searching. Trying to decide if this tattooed stranger was salvation or another danger. Finally, he whispered, "Okay, good." Darius's voice stayed soft. "Now tell me. This man, what does he want?" "Money. Mommy borrowed money. For my medicine last year. When I had pneumonia." Darius's jaw clenched. A lone shark, preying on a desperate single mother. "How much does she owe?" "I don't know, but he keeps saying it's more. Every time he comes, it's more. Classic. Interest piled on interest. A debt that never died. A trap with no escape. And when he comes, what happens?" Aaron's voice got smaller. He yells, breaks things. Last time he pushed Mommy. She hit the table. Her arm got bruised. White heat flooded Darius's chest. His hands curled into fists under the table. Controlled. Contained. But barely. "Does he know where you are right now?" "I think so. Mommy said he watches our building. He knows when we leave." The owner appeared again. Face grim. "Boss, my guy just checked outside." Black sedan circled the block twice. Jersey plates. Tinted windows. Darius nodded. "Anyone inside?" Driver stayed. Engine running. Waiting. Watching. Making sure the boy didn't leave. Darius stood. Slowly. He walked to Aaron's side of the booth. Crouched down. Eye level. Aaron, I need to ask you something important, and I need you to tell me the truth. Okay, the boy nodded. This man, the one who comes to your apartment, the one who hurt your mom. What's his name? Aaron's lips trembled. He looked at the table, at his hands, at the candle, anywhere but Darius's eyes. He said bad things would happen if I told anyone. I know, but I promise you, nothing bad will happen. Not to you, not to your mom. I'll make sure of it. Aaron looked up, searching Darius's face, looking for lies, for cracks, for reasons not to trust. He found none. His name is Rhett Kincaid. The name hit Darius like a bullet. Kincaid, a parasite, a coward who preyed on the weak. A man Darius had warned 2 years ago to stay out of his territory. A man who clearly didn't listen. Darius's eyes went cold, empty. The kind of cold that promised violence without saying a word. He stood, pulled out his phone, sent 3 texts. Fast, precise. Within seconds, replies came back. Aaron, Darius said, his voice calm again. I'm going to take you somewhere safe. And then I'm going to check on your mom. But she said not to bring anyone home. She said Kincaid gets angry if she talks to strangers. I'm not a stranger. Darius held out his hand. Your mom invited me. And right now, she needs someone who can protect her. Aaron stared at the hand. Big, tattooed, scarred knuckles. A hand that had done terrible things, but also a hand offering kindness. Slowly, Aaron reached out. Their fingers met. Are you really a good man? Aaron whispered. Darius answered with the only truth he had. I'm good to people who deserve good. And your mom? She deserves a lot more good than she's been getting. Aaron nodded. And that trust, fragile and new, became the spark that lit Darius's fury. The black sedan was still outside, engine humming. Darius smiled. Not a warm smile, a promise. Stay close. Darius's hand rested on Aaron's shoulder. Protective, firm. They moved toward the back exit. The owner held the door open. Cold wind rushed in. Aaron shivered. Darius shrugged off his coat. Black, heavy, expensive. He draped it around the boy's shoulders. It swallowed him, sleeves hanging past his hands. Him dragging on the ground. But it was warm. Aaron looked up. Won't you be cold? I'll be fine. They stepped into the alley. Brick walls on both sides. Dumpsters. Shadows. The smell of rain and old grease. A single streetlight flickered at the far end. 2 men waited there. Big, silent, dressed in dark clothes. They nodded at Darius. Marcus, take the boy to the safe house on 5th. Stay with him. No one in or out. The taller one, Marcus, stepped forward. He looked at Aaron with kind eyes. Hey, little man, you like video games? Aaron hesitated, then nodded. Good. We got all the new ones. You can play while we wait. Aaron turned to Darius. Where are you going? To get your mom. But Kincaid won't touch her again. Darius crouched, looked Aaron in the eyes. I promise. Aaron's chin trembled. What if something happens to you? It won't. But what if it does? Darius paused. The question hung there. Real. Raw. The fear of a child who'd lost too much already. Then Marcus will take care of you. Until your mom gets better. And she will get better. Okay. Aaron wanted to argue. Wanted to say no. Wanted to stay close to this stranger who felt safer than anyone he'd met. But he nodded, because sometimes trust meant letting go. Marcus held out his hand. Come on, bud. Let's go. Aaron took it, but he kept looking back at Darius, watching until the alley turned and the man disappeared. Darius pulled out his phone. Dialed. Yeah. A voice answered. Rough. Tired. Kincaid. Where is he? Last ping had him near the South Side Apartments. Building on Maple and 3rd. Aaron's building. Send a team. Quiet. I don't want sirens. I don't want attention. Just eyes. And if he's there, no one moves until I arrive. Copy. Darius hung up. Walked back through the restaurant. The owner stood by the bar. The sedan. Gone. Left 2 minutes ago. Headed south. Toward Aaron's apartment. Darius moved fast now. Out the front door. His car waited at the curb. Black. Low. Engine purring. He slid inside. The leather cold against his back. He didn't feel it. All he felt was rage. Controlled. Focused. Deadly. His phone buzzed. A text. Unknown number. Too late. 2 words. Simple. Devastating. Darius's hands tightened on the steering wheel. He pulled into traffic. Fast. Smooth. The city blurred past. Buildings. Lights. People who had no idea what was happening in the shadows. But Darius knew. He'd lived in those shadows his whole life. And tonight, those shadows were about to swallow someone whole. Another text. This one from Marcus. Kid's asking about you. Says his mom never told him who you are. Only that she hoped you'd like them. Darius stared at the words. Hoped you'd like them. Not feared. Not respected. Not obeyed. Liked. When was the last time someone hoped he'd like them? He couldn't remember. The car accelerated. Engine roaring now. The streets of the city peeling away beneath him. He reached Maple and 3rd in 8 minutes. The buildings stood dark. Most windows black. A few glowing with yellow light. Laundry hung from fire escapes. Graffiti covered the lower walls. Aaron's home. Darius parked. Stepped out. 3 men emerged from the shadows. His men. Silent. Ready. Apartment. 3rd floor. 3C. Lights are off. No movement. Darius nodded. Started toward the entrance. Then his phone buzzed again. He looked down. Another text. Another unknown number. But this time there was a photo. A woman. Unconscious. Tied to a chair. Blood on her forehead. Eyes closed. And below the photo, 3 words. Come alone. Midnight. Darius checked his watch. 11:47 p.m. 13 minutes. He looked up at the dark window of apartment 3C. The building smelled like mold and old smoke. Stairs creaked beneath Darius's boots. Each step deliberate, measured. His men stayed outside. Orders clear. If he didn't walk out in 20 minutes, they came in loud. 3rd floor. Hallway narrow. Wall stained. Flickering bulb at the far end. 4 doors. 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D. 3C's door hung open, just slightly. A crack of darkness inside. Darius pulled his gun, held it low, finger off the trigger. He approached slow, listening. No voices, no movement, just the hum of a broken refrigerator somewhere close. He nudged the door with his boot. It swung open. Dark, silent, empty. He stepped inside. Small apartment. 1 bedroom probably. Kitchen visible from the entrance. Table overturned. Chairs scattered. A mug shattered on the floor. Coffee stains on the wall. Signs of struggle. Darius moved through the space. Checking corners. Closets. The bedroom. A child's bed. Small. Covered in superhero sheets. A stuffed bear on the pillow. Drawings taped to the wall. Crayon sketches of a woman and a boy. Holding hands. Smiling. Aaron's room. Darius's jaw clenched. He moved to the living room. Saw the couch. A blanket folded neatly. A book on the side table. Pride and Prejudice. Worn cover. Pages dog-eared. The mother's spot. He crouched. Looked under the couch. A scarf. Blue. Soft fabric. Torn. He picked it up. Held it. The fabric still smelled like lavender. Like someone who tried hard. Who worked nights. Who read classics and drew with her son and borrowed money for his medicine. Someone who didn't deserve this. His phone buzzed. Another text. Warehouse. Pier 9. Don't keep me waiting. Darius stood. Walked back to the door. Paused. On the wall, smeared in something dark. Coffee maybe, or worse, a message. She's alive. For now. He took a photo. Sent it to his team with 2 words. Trace it. Then he walked out. Down the stairs. Into the cold night. His men waited. Boss. Warehouse. Pier 9. Kincaid has her. We're coming with you. No. Darius's voice cut like glass. Stay here. Watch the building. If anyone comes back, call me. Don't engage. Boss, it's a trap. I know. Then. I said no. The men stepped back. They knew that tone. Knew better than to argue. Darius got in his car. Engine roared. He pulled away from the curb. Fast. The city lights streaking past. His phone rang. Marcus. Yeah. Kid's asking if his mom's okay. Tell him she will be. Is that true? Darius didn't answer. Boss. Keep him safe, Marcus. Whatever happens tonight, keep that boy safe. You got it. Darius hung up. The road stretched ahead. Dark, empty, leading toward the industrial district, toward the piers, toward the water where the city's sins got buried. He checked his watch. 11:58 p.m. 2 minutes. The warehouse came into view. Massive, rust-stained metal, windows shattered, doors hanging off hinges. A place abandoned years ago, perfect for things that needed to stay hidden. Darius parked, got out, gun in his waistband, phone in his pocket. He walked toward the entrance. The door stood open. Darkness beyond. He stepped inside. Cold, vast, empty space stretching up to a ceiling lost in shadow. Moonlight cutting through broken windows. Puddles of water on the concrete floor. And in the center, under a single hanging bulb, a woman tied to a chair. Aaron's mother, unconscious, head slumped forward, blood dried on her temple, hands bound behind her, feet tied to the chair legs, but alive, chest rising and falling. Slow, steady. Darius moved forward, steps echoing. That's far enough. A voice from the shadows. Darius stopped. A man stepped into the light. Tall, thin, slick back hair, expensive watch, cheap soul, Rhett Kincaid. But he wasn't alone. Another man emerged. Shorter, older, well-dressed, tailored suit, rings on his fingers. One ring with a blue stone. Darius's blood went cold. He knew that ring. He knew that man. And suddenly, everything made sense. This wasn't about death. Wasn't about money. This was about him. The man with the blue ring smiled. Hello, Darius. It's been a while. If you want to see how Darius saves Aaron's mother and takes down the men who poison her, drop a like and subscribe for the next chapter. The woman's chest barely moved. Shallow breaths. Too shallow. Her skin pale under the warehouse light. Lips cracked. Sweat on her forehead despite the cold. Darius didn't take his eyes off Kincaid, or the man with the blue ring. Surprised, the blue ring man stepped closer. His shoes clicked on concrete. Polished. Expensive. Everything about him screamed money and cruelty wrapped in silk. You didn't think a single mother would catch your attention by accident, did you? Darius's voice stayed flat. Dominic Crane. The name echoed through the warehouse. A name that carried weight. A real estate mogul. City council connections. Charity galas and blood money. A man who built empires on broken backs and called it business. Smart as always. Crane smiled. Not warm. Predatory. Though I expected you sooner. We've been waiting. Let her go. Ah, straight to negotiation. How refreshing. Crane circled the woman slowly, studying her like merchandise. But we both know that's not how this works. See, she's not the prize, Darius. She's the bait. Kincaid shifted. Nervous energy. Hand near his jacket. Gun probably. But he kept glancing at Crane like a dog, waiting for permission. Darius stayed still, calculating. You poisoned her. Poison? Crane laughed. Soft. Dangerous. Such an ugly word. I prefer chemically persuaded. Small doses. Nothing fatal. Just enough to keep her weak. Desperate. Willing to do things she normally wouldn't. Like agree to a blind date with the most dangerous man in the city. The pieces fell into place. The setup, the timing, the note. All of it designed to pull Darius in. To make him care. To give Crane leverage. Why? Because you embarrassed me. Crane's smile vanished. Last year, the Riverside project. You bought the land I wanted. Right out from under me. Made me look weak in front of people who matter. Business. Personal. Crane's voice dropped. Cold. Final. Everything is personal when it costs me money. So I thought, how do I hurt the man who has no weaknesses? The man who trusts no one? Simple. I create one. Darius's jaw clenched. She has nothing to do with this. Exactly. That's what makes it perfect. A random woman. A sick child. A desperate situation. And you, the big bad wolf, playing hero. Crane leaned against a metal beam. Relaxed. Confident. I knew you'd come. Men like you always have that one crack. That soft spot buried deep. You pretend you're stone, but you're not. You're just broken. Aaron's face flashed in Darius's mind. Those wide eyes. That trust. What do you want? The Riverside property. Signed over to me. Full transfer. By Monday. And if I don't? Crane nodded to Kincaid. The loan shark pulled out his phone, turned the screen toward Darius. A video played. Marcus's safe house. Outside view. From across the street. Clear shot of the windows. Are invisible inside. Playing a video game. Safe. For now. We know where the boy is, Crane said. We've known since you put him there. Sweet kid. Would be a shame if something happened. White heat flooded Darius's veins. His hand moved toward his gun. Don't. Kincaid pulled his weapon, aimed it at the woman's head. One move, and she dies. Darius froze. Crane smiled again. See? This is why I love leverage. It makes even the most dangerous men obedient. So here's what happens. You sign the papers, transfer the property, and we let them go. Mother. Son. Happy ending. Everyone walks away. And if I refuse, then we kill her now. Slow. While you watch. Then we take the boy. Sell him. There are people who pay good money for children, especially ones no one will look for. The words hung there, venom in the air. Darius's voice stayed calm, deadly calm. You made a mistake. Crane raised an eyebrow. Oh, you told me where the boy is. You showed me you're watching him, but you forgot something. What's that? I have people watching you watch him. Crane's smile faltered, just slightly. Darius continued. And while you're busy playing games, my team traced every text you sent, every location ping, every security camera near your properties. We know where you live, Dominic. We know where your wife gets her hair done. We know your daughter's school, her gymnastics schedule, your son's college dorm room number. The warehouse went silent. Kincaid's gun trembled. Boss. Crane's face hardened. You're bluffing. Try me. For the first time, doubt crept into Crane's eyes. Because men like Darius didn't bluff. They promised, and they delivered. Here's my counter-offer, Darius said, his voice soft. Dangerous. You untie her. You walk away. You never come near her or her son again. And maybe I let you live. Kincaid looked at Crane, waiting. Crane's jaw clenched. You think you can threaten me? I don't threaten. Darius took one step forward. I educate. The woman stirred. A soft moan. Her eyes fluttered, trying to wake, trying to fight through whatever they'd given her. And in that moment, everything changed. Because the woman whispered one word. Aaron. The name broke something in the air. Fragile. Human. Real. Darius moved. Fast. Before Kincaid could react. Before Crane could speak. 3 steps. Gun out. Aimed. Not at Kincaid. At Crane. Drop it. Darius's voice cut through the warehouse like a blade. Kincaid hesitated. Gun still on the woman. I said drop it. Crane raised his hand. Calm. Too calm. Rhett. Do as he says. But boss. Now. The gun clattered to the floor. Metal on concrete. The sound echoing. Darius kicked it away. Never took his eyes off Crane. On your knees. Crane didn't move. You're making a mistake. The only mistake was yours. Thinking I'd negotiate for innocent lives. Darius took another step. Closer. Close enough to see the sweat forming on Crane's forehead. You wanted to know my weakness? Here it is. I hate bullies. Always have. I'm a businessman. You're a coward. Darius's voice stayed level. Cold. You prey on single mothers. On sick children. On people who can't fight back. That's not business. That's evil. Crane's mask slipped. Anger flashing through. You think you're better than me? You've killed more people than I ever will. Yeah, but I killed people who deserved it. Darius moved to the woman. Cut the ropes. Quick. Efficient. She slumped forward. He caught her. Gentle. Careful. She looked up at him. Eyes barely focusing. Ooh, I'm a friend. Your son sent me. Aren't. Tears spilled. Where is he? Safe. I promise. She tried to stand. Collapsed. Darius held her steady. Easy. You've been drugged. The man, the ring. Her voice faded. Weak. Scared. I know. He won't touch you again. Darius pulled out his phone. One hand. Call Marcus. Yeah, boss. Bring the boy. Warehouse on Pier 9. And bring the medics. On our way. He hung up. Looked at Crane. You're done. Crane laughed. Bitter. Desperate. You can't touch me. I have lawyers. Judges. Politicians. You know how this works. By tomorrow, I'll be free. And you'll have a target on your back bigger than anything you've faced. Maybe. Darius knelt, set the woman down gently against a wall. But you made one mistake. What? You told me you were going to hurt a child, and I recorded every word. Crane's face went white. Darius held up his phone. Small red dot. Recording. Running the entire time. Every threat. Every confession. Every sick plan. All of it saved. Backed up. Sent to 3 different people. And if something happens to me, it goes public. News stations. FBI. Everyone. Kincaid backed away. Slow. Trying to disappear into the shadows. Not you. Darius's gun shifted. Aimed at the lone shark. You stay. Kincaid froze. You pushed a woman in front of her son. You made a child watch his mother get hurt. I was just doing my job. Your job. Darius's voice rose. Just slightly. Enough to make Kincaid flinch. Your job is to terrorize families? To break bones over money? To poison mothers? I didn't poison anyone. That was all him. Kincaid pointed at Crane. Desperate. Crumbling. I don't care. Darius stepped closer. You were there. You helped. You're guilty. Sirens wailed in the distance. Getting closer. Crane's eyes widened. You called the cops? Not me. Darius smiled. Small. Dangerous. My people did. Anonymous tip. Warehouse on Pier 9. Kidnapping in progress. They'll be here in about 2 minutes. You, and when they arrive, they'll find you. The woman. The rope. The evidence. And that recording I mentioned? Already in their hands. Crane lunged. Fast. Desperate. Pulling a knife from his jacket. Darius sidestepped. Easy. Like dancing. His fist connected with Crane's jaw. Hard. Precise. Crane dropped. Unconscious before he hit the ground. Kincaid ran, sprinting toward the back exit. Darius didn't chase. Just called out. Marcus. He's heading your way. A crash. A shout. The sound of someone hitting the ground. Marcus's voice echoed. Got him. The sirens grew louder. Red and blue lights flashing through the broken windows. The woman looked up at Darius. Why are you helping us? Because your son asked me to. But you don't even know us. I know enough. Car doors slammed outside. Voices. Footsteps. The police arriving. Darius holstered his gun. Walked toward the entrance. Stopped. Turned back. Your son thinks I'm a good man. Don't tell him different. Okay. She nodded. Tears streaming now. Thank you. He didn't answer. Just walked into the night. Marcus waited outside, holding Kincaid by the collar. The lone shark's nose bleeding. Eyes swelling shut. Police are inside, Darius said. Let them find him. Marcus dropped Kincaid, kicked his leg. Hard. The man crumpled, whimpering. Where's Aaron? In the car. Darius walked to the black sedan, opened the door. Aaron sat in the back seat, eyes wide, scared, hopeful. Is my mom okay? She will be. The police are helping her now, and the doctors will make sure she gets better. And the bad men, arrested. They won't hurt anyone again. Aaron's lip trembled. I want to see her. Soon. I promise. The boy looked at him. Really looked. You saved her. I did what I said I'd do. Aaron launched forward, wrapped his small arms around Darius's waist. Held tight, crying now, all the fear and worry pouring out. Darius stood there, awkward, unsure. Then slowly, carefully, he put his hand on Aaron's head. Gentle, protective. You're safe now, both of you. And for the first time in years, Darius felt something he'd forgotten existed. Purpose. The hospital smelled like antiseptic and fear. White walls, fluorescent lights, nurses moving fast, machines beeping. Aaron sat in the waiting room, legs swinging, not touching the floor. Darius sat next to him, silent, present. Marcus leaned against the wall, arms crossed, watching the doors. A doctor emerged, young, tired, scrubs stained with coffee. Family of Lyric Thompson. Darius stood. How is she? The doctor looked at Aaron, then at Darius. Confused. I'm a friend, Darius said. The boy is her son. The doctor nodded. She's stable. The toxin in her system was a slow-acting sedative, mixed with something that mimicked flu symptoms. Clever, actually. Hard to detect without specific tests. Will she recover? Fully. We're flushing her system now. She'll need rest. Lots of fluids. But she'll be fine. Aaron exhaled, relief flooding his small face. Can I see her? His voice barely a whisper. The doctor smiled. She's asking for you. Room 214. Second floor. Aaron looked at Darius. Uncertain. Go ahead. I'll be right behind you. The boy ran. Fast. Disappearing through the automatic doors. The doctor waited until he was gone, then turned to Darius. The police were here. Asked about her injuries. I told them what I knew. And what do you know? That she's lucky. A few more doses, and she wouldn't have woken up. The doctor's voice dropped. What kind of person does this to a mother? The kind who won't do it again. The doctor studied him. Saw the tattoos. The scars. The eyes that had seen too much. You're not family. But you saved her life. So thank you. Darius nodded. Said nothing. The doctor left. Marcus pushed off the wall. Boss, the cops want to talk to you. Let them wait. They're asking about Crane. About how we knew where to find the woman. Anonymous tip. That's all they need to know. And the recording? Already sent to the DA. They have everything they need. Marcus grinned. You know Crane's lawyers will tear this apart. Maybe, but the media won't. By tomorrow, every news station will have that recording. Businessman threatens to kidnap and sell a child. Career over. Life over. He's done. They walked toward the elevators. Up to the second floor. The hallway stretched long. White. Doors every few feet. Room 214 stood open. Voices inside. Soft. Emotional. Darius stopped outside. Looked through the doorway. Aaron sat on the bed, holding his mother's hand. She looked weak. Pale, but alive. Her eyes open. Focused. Real. She was saying something. Darius couldn't hear, but Aaron nodded, smiling, crying, happy tears. Then Lyric looked up, saw Darius standing there. Their eyes met. She mouthed 2 words. Thank you. He nodded. Once. A promise kept. Marcus nudged him. You did good, boss. Just finish what I started. You could have walked away, sent someone else, but you didn't. Darius watched Aaron, the boy laughing now, telling his mother about the video games, about Marcus, about the safe house. The kid called me gentle, Darius said quietly. No one's ever called me that. Maybe that's who you are, when it matters. Darius didn't answer, just stood there, watching, making sure they were safe. A nurse approached. Excuse me, are you Darius Calderon? He turned. Yeah. Ms. Thompson would like to speak with you, if you have a moment. He hesitated, then walked inside. Lyric smiled, weak but genuine. You must think I'm crazy, sending my son to meet a stranger. I think you were desperate. I was. The debt kept growing. Kincaid kept coming. I couldn't work, couldn't think. Then someone told me about you. Said you were dangerous but fair. That you protected people who couldn't protect themselves. Who told you that? A woman in my work. She said you helped her brother once. Kept him from getting killed over a gambling debt. Darius remembered. 2 years ago, a kid in over his head. Stupid, but not evil. Darius paid the debt. Made the problem disappear. So I thought maybe, just maybe, if I reached out, if I asked, you might. Her voice broke. I'm sorry I put you in this position. You didn't. They did. But my son is safe and brave and smarter than most adults I know. Aaron beamed, pride swelling in his chest. Lyric looked at Darius. Really looked. What happens now? You rest. You heal. And when you're ready, you rebuild. The debt is gone. I paid it. Consider it handled. I can't accept that. I'll pay you back. I swear. You already did. She blinked, confused. Your son reminded me why I do this. Darius's voice softened. That's worth more than money. Lyric's eyes filled with tears. I don't know how to thank you. Just take care of him. That's enough. He turned to leave. Wait. Aaron slid off the bed, ran to him, held out something. The stuffed bear from his room. Brown, worn, loved. You should keep this. Darius looked at the bear. What? Because you saved us, and heroes need something to protect. The words hit harder than any bullet. Darius took the bear, held it carefully. I'll keep it safe. Aaron smiled, then hugged him again. Quick, fierce, before running back to his mother. Darius walked out. Marcus fell and stepped beside him. You keeping that? Darius looked at the bear in his hands. Yeah, getting soft, boss. Maybe. They reached the elevator. Doors opened. Empty. Darius's phone buzzed. A text. Unknown number. This isn't over. You'll pay for what you did. DC. Dominic Crane. From jail probably. Or his lawyers. Darius deleted it. Didn't care. Because tonight, he won. Not with violence. Not with fear. But with something better. He saved a family. And that was worth whatever came next. The courthouse steps were packed. Reporters. Cameras. Microphones shoved in faces. A circus wrapped in legal jargon and flash photography. Dominic Crane stood at the center. Handcuffs on his wrists. Suit rumpled. Hair out of place. The man who once commanded boardrooms now looked small. Broken. His lawyer spoke to the cameras. Damage control. Spinning the story. But no one bought it. The recording was everywhere. Every news station. Every social media platform. Crane's voice. His threats. His sick plans. All of it public. Career destroyed. Reputation shattered. Family hiding from the world. Darius watched from across the street. Leaning against his car. Arms crossed. Marcus beside him. Think he'll get convicted? Marcus asked. Yeah. Too much evidence. Too public. Even his connections can't save him now. And Kincaid already made a deal. Testified against Crane in exchange for reduced sentence. He'll do 5 years instead of 20. Still a win. Darius nodded. Small victories. They watched as police led Crane into the courthouse. The man looked back once. Scanned the crowd. His eyes found Darius. Hate burned there. Pure. Focused. Darius stared back. Calm. Unbothered. Then Crane was gone. Swallowed by the building. By the system. By consequences. Boss, we got a problem. Darius turned. One of his men approached. Young. Nervous. What is it? Crane's son. He's been asking around. Making threats. Says his family's honor needs to be restored. How old? 23. Trust fund kid. No real experience. Keep eyes on him. If he makes a move, I want to know. Copy. The man left. Marcus sighed. It's always something. Always. Darius got in his car. Started the engine. The city stretched ahead. Concrete and glass and shadows. His world. His responsibility. He drove through familiar streets. Past businesses he protected. Past neighborhoods he kept safe. Past the line between right and wrong he walked every day. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered. Yeah. Mr. Calderon? A woman's voice. Unfamiliar. Who's asking? My name is Janelle. I'm a social worker. Lyric Thompson gave me your number. She said you might be able to help. With what? There's a family. Father's missing. Mother's being harassed by a landlord. 3 kids. The youngest is 6. They're about to be evicted. Lyric said you help people. That you're different. Darius closed his eyes. Exhaled. Another problem. Another family. Another fight. Where are they? Janelle gave the address. Southside. Near the docks. I'll send someone. Thank you. The mother's name is Shanice. She's desperate. Please, if there's anything you can do. There is. Tell her to hold tight. Help's coming. He hung up. Called Marcus. Yeah, boss. I need you to check on a family. Southside. Landlord problem. Make it go away. On it. Darius turned the car around. Headed toward his office. Work waiting. Calls to return. Meetings to handle. But his mind stayed on Aaron. On Lyric. On the stuffed bear sitting in his passenger seat. On the way a child's trust changed something inside him he thought was dead. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. But this time, the message was different. You saved my friend. If you ever need anything, call me. Janelle. He saved the number. Didn't reply. Because that's what he did now. Saved people. Protected families. Fought battles others couldn't. Not for glory. Not for power. But because someone needed to. And maybe, just maybe, that made him the good man Aaron believed he was. The city lights flickered ahead. Endless. Waiting. And Darius drove toward them. Ready for whatever came next. Morning broke soft over the city. Gold and pink bleeding through gray. The hospital parking lot nearly empty. A few cars scattered. Nurses ending shifts. Visitors arriving early. Darius parked near the entrance. Engine off. Silence. He sat there, staring at the building, wondering if this was smart, if walking back into their lives would help or hurt. But he promised Aaron, and Darius kept his promises. He got out, walked through automatic doors, took the elevator to the second floor. The hallway familiar now. Room 214. The door stood open. Voices inside. Lighter. Happier. He knocked. Gentle. Lyric looked up, sitting in a chair now. Color back in her face. Strength returning. Darius. Come in. Aaron jumped up, ran to him. You came back. Said I would. The boy grabbed his hand, pulled him inside. Mom's being released today. The doctor said she's all better. That's good. Lyric stood. Slowly. Steady. Thank you. For everything. I don't know what would have happened if. You don't need to thank me. But I do. You saved my life. My son's life. Our future. Aaron tugged on Darius's jacket. Are you going to stay with us? The question hung there. Innocent. Hopeful. Heavy. Darius knelt. I level with the boy. I can't stay. I have responsibilities. People who need me. Aaron's face fell. Oh, but I can visit. Sometimes. If that's okay with your mom. Lyric nodded. You're always welcome. Aaron brightened. Really? Really? The boy hugged him. Tight. Trusting. Safe. Darius held him. Just for a moment. Then stood. There's something I need to tell you both. His voice serious. Crane's in jail. But his family's angry. They might try something. So I'm leaving people nearby. Watching. Making sure you're safe. Lyric's eyes widened. You think they'll come after us? I don't think they will. But I'm not taking chances. You'll have protection. Always. You won't see them. But they'll be there. I don't know what to say. Say you'll be careful. Say you'll call if anything feels wrong. She nodded. I will. Darius pulled out his phone. Sent a text. Within seconds, a reply came back. My people will pick you up when you're discharged. Take you home. Make sure everything's secure. You've done so much already. Not enough. Not yet. He looked at Aaron. You going back to school? The boy nodded. Monday. Good. You're smart. Stay that way. Listen to your mom. Work hard. Build something better than what you had. Will you come to my school play? It's in 3 weeks. I'm a tree. Darius almost smiled. I'll try. Promise? I promise to try. That's the best I can do. Aaron accepted that because he understood. In his short life, he learned that some promises were kept and some weren't. But trying mattered. A nurse entered. Ms. Thompson, we have her discharge papers ready. Thank you. Darius stepped back. I should go. Wait. Lyric walked to him. Took his hand. You asked me earlier if I had family. I said no, but I was wrong. She looked at Aaron, then back at Darius. We have you now. If you'll let us. The words hit deep. Unexpected. Real. Darius didn't know how to respond. Family wasn't something he did. Wasn't something he deserved. But looking at them, this mother and son who'd been through hell and still offered kindness, he couldn't find the words to refuse. Yeah, he said quietly. If you'll let me. Aaron's smile could have lit the city. They walked out together, down the hallway, into the elevator, through the lobby, out into morning air. Marcus waited by the car. He opened the back door, gestured for Lyric and Aaron. This is Marcus. He'll take you home. Make sure everything's ready. Lyric hesitated, then climbed in. Aaron followed, but before the door closed, the boy looked out. Darius? Yeah. You're a good man. I knew it the first time I saw you. Darius crouched down one last time. How'd you know? Because good men don't run when kids need help. They stay, even when it's scary. The door closed. The car pulled away. Taillights disappearing into traffic. Darius stood there, watching, the stuffed bear still in his hand. A reminder, a promise, a piece of something he thought he'd lost years ago. Hope. His phone buzzed. Another call, another problem, another person needing help. But this time, he didn't feel the weight of it. He felt purpose. Marcus walked over. You good, boss? Darius looked at the rising sun, gold spilling across the skyline. A new day, a new start. Yeah, he said. I'm good. But his eyes said something else. Something deeper. Something true. The war wasn't over. Men like Crane had families, had friends, had resources. Revenge would come. Eventually. Probably sooner than later. But when it did, Darius would be ready. because now he had something worth fighting for. A mother rebuilding her life, a boy who believed in heroes, a family who saw past the scars and tattoos and bloodstained history. They saw him, the real him, and maybe that was enough. Marcus got in the driver's seat. Darius slid into the passenger side. Where to, boss? Darius looked at the stuffed bear, at the city ahead, at the endless fight waiting. Home, he said, then back to work. Because that's what good men did. They showed up, they protected, they fought, they saved who they could, and they never stopped trying. The car pulled into traffic, blending with the morning rush. Just another vehicle, just another day. But for Aaron and Lyric, everything had changed. For Darius too, because walking into that restaurant expecting a blind date and finding a terrified child had reminded him of something he'd forgotten. That power without purpose was just violence. But power with purpose? That was justice. And justice was worth dying for. The sun climbed higher. The city woke up. Life continued. And somewhere in a small apartment on the south side, a mother held her son and whispered a prayer of thanks for the dangerous man who became their guardian angel. If this story moved you, inspired you, or reminded you that good still exists in dark places, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the stories that matter. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Your words might inspire someone else who needs to hear that heroes come in unexpected forms. Together, we build a community that believes in second chances, in courage, and in the power of showing up when it matters most. See you in the next story.